Hello everyone and welcome to the very first weekly market outlook video of 2026. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas, had an amazing New Year's and are all ready to crush your trading goals for the next year ahead. Before we start the video, I want to bring to your attention that we have a challenge on Discord where we want to reward people for their consistency. So if you haven't seen it yet or didn't join, please check out our Discord channel to get rewarded for showing your consistency in trading. It's an amazing initiative and we hope to see you soon in there. Before we start going to the charts, as always, let's take a look at the economic calendar, because we have the very first huge news event of the year, which is CPI on Tuesday. On Monday we have no news, and because it's the first day of the week without news before a big news event on Tuesday, I won't be recommending to trade on Monday. And as for Tuesday, as you all know, don't trade before the news event happens. So after CPI happens, you can see what the market structure does. Maybe we manipulate a certain direction and will distribute another direction later. As you know from my model, I probably will watch first to see if we manipulate one direction and see if we can create a SMT divergence between correlated markets. Can be the ES and NQ, can be Euro and GBP, but can also be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Who knows? In every market there are correlations and there are correlated pairs, so we can see wherever there are cracks, wherever these prices will probably go to. As for Wednesday, I'll advise the same as Tuesday. PPI is also a huge news event, which always follows CPI. So don't trade before 8:30, but you can definitely trade after. And on Thursday I recommend doing the same. It's an interesting week. It's a good trading week for sure. On Friday there's no news, but I'm sure whenever there's volatility you can still trade. The markets are always slow at the beginning of the year, especially the first 2 weeks of January, last 2 weeks of December. But now I feel like the markets are clearing up and some nice big price movements will occur. So let's dive into the charts. As you can see, let's start with silver for a change. Silver and gold. As you can see here, I have now opened the weekly chart and there is no single way I can possibly be bearish on this until I see a very clear crack on the downside. Because now, as you can see, for 2024, silver ranged in a range of 12 points, while in 2025 it expanded higher with 56 points total, which is massive and never seen before for silver. Like, as you can see, at the beginning we were like at 28, we almost tripled in value. So until I see something really obvious, I will be bearish on gold or silver, but still I won't be touching these markets, and if so I would still trade bullish on probably the hourly or 4-hour time frame. So because I expect if we are bullish, if we move one direction, it's in the direction of new all-time highs on both pairs. So that's something to watch closely. Then if we take a look at Bitcoin on the daily chart, as you can see here, I will explain later what this area is. But as you can see here, we created a lower low here on Bitcoin, where we created a higher low respectively on Ethereum. And ever since that crack happened, we've been expanding higher. So for the short term, I still expect us to follow the trend and trade higher, maybe even towards these highs and this high for Bitcoin. Maybe we can even touch the 100k again. But for the longer term, we have the big cracks on the top still for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Like here we have a double crack in correlation. We've been displacing lower massively. We've been trading through this fair value gap on the weekly chart. over here as well, and that's what this area is, and I think we will still be respecting this area in the upcoming weeks. But gun to my head, what do I expect next? For next week I might be possibly bullish, but for the longer term still I expect us to move towards the 74k sell side liquidity on Bitcoin. Last but not least is Forex markets, of course, DXY and the euro dollar. As you can see what happens, let me remove this from the charts, so blur. As you can see what happened on DXY and the euro previous weeks is we created over here. Here it's more obvious. We created a SMT on the top with GBP, with the cable, where on euro we made a lower high, where on GBP we made a higher high over here. And ever since that happened, we've been trading lower massively, and we've been trading through this busy, or also called a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency on the euro. And as we did that, I expect this one to be treated next as a inverse fair value gap. So what I mean with that is that I expect us to trade higher into this inverse fair value gap and eventually trade lower again towards these lows, because I expect us to keep respecting this crack created over here, and like the same thing we did over here. We created the crack and correlation here, we had this bullish fair value gap over here, we traded through it, after that came back into it, tapped into it and traded lower. So gun to my head, what do I expect? I expect us to trade higher first and lower after, but of course don't trade before CPI, and let's see what CPI gives us, what opportunities the markets will provide for us, and that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope it was valuable. Please give a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'm really hopeful to see you in the next one.